Hi, everyone. Welcome into Primetime TV Show. I'm one of your hosts, Barbara Marvell Kelly. And, of course, I have my partner, and very excited to have you co-hosting back once again,
well,
Mr.
thank you
Dennis
for
Kelly.
inviting me.
Absolutely.
Appreciate that.
You have a standing invitation.
Oh, I can stand and be invited too?
Boy, you're really quick. Where did that come from? Well, you know what? We're going to get started, everybody. I have been posting all day and all weekend on Facebook to let you know that we are going to be sharing one of the main key secrets that my husband has been doing now for a good couple of years, because a little over 3 years ago, you were diagnosed with Parkinson's disease.
Yeah.
And without going into a long emotional story about that, because you've already seen us carry us through from time to time, while my husband has been really making some remarkable improvements. I just want you to share, before we bring our very special guest in to talk about why, the whys and the hows, you've been able to do what you've been able to do. But when you were given that awful news, what was the first thing that you said to yourself?
Well, basically, going back a little bit, I actually thought I had it before I was diagnosed. Obviously, I had all the signs of it. And what was the question?
The question is when you said, God, why me, why not me?
Okay, I remember that now. Anyway, when I first was officially diagnosed, my first impulse was, God, why me? And then I thought to myself, God, why not me? Because I'm a warrior. You know, it would be great for me to be able to reverse this process that most people give up on. Because the average person, basically, when they find out they have Parkinson's or Alzheimer's or whatever they have that are in that category, they seem to give up.
Right.
Somebody has to carry the torch.
Well, you know, it didn't surprise me when you had the attitude that you did, but just real quickly, so you know, our whole world felt like it was falling apart. Our whole world felt like it just came to a screeching halt. Our business, our relationship, we weren't communicating because I felt like I was losing my husband. I called it the black hole. He couldn't process anything. He was losing his balance. It was crazy stuff. So when a couple of people introduced a supplement, which is in his book, the supplement is in what? Number 2 of the 6 Steps to the Fountain of Youth, that's right here. In the supplement section was something that we were introduced to by 2 people, Karen Justice and Joanne Hill, our 2 earth angels. Well, I'm going to go ahead and bring our friend in, Mr. Dick Herrboldt, who is actually a leader in the field of alternative ideas and concepts and alternatives. So we're going to say hi to Dick to really give us sort of an overview on what this special supplement can do that my husband has been taking for a while. Good evening, Dick. Welcome into the show.
Hi, Barbara. Thank you very much. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm so glad that you joined us today. So now we've talked before the show, and we've been planning on this. I want you to, I'm just going to kind of turn the show over to you so that you can kind of give us an overview on basically how the body works so that we can understand and follow what's been going on with my husband for 2.5 years.
Well, absolutely, Barbara. I'd love to. And the thing to think about is where we all came from. We all came from a single cell. We got one cell from our father, one from our mother, and those 2 cells joined together to form a single cell. And out of that single cell came all of your body, all of our bodies. It's very interesting. And the reason why our bodies came from one cell is because those cells have the ability to replicate themselves. Mm-hmm. So one cell turned into 2, 2 into 4, 4 into 8, 16, 32, and so forth and so on. So all of those cells replicating gave us a full body, and after 9 months of gestation, we came into the world with a full functioning body. Well, that process of cellular reproduction continues throughout our life. When we are younger, we produce more cells than we lose, and consequently, we grow. As we grow older, say 20, 21, sometime along there, we stop reproducing more cells than we lose, and then we only reproduce those cells that we have lost, but none extra, so we don't grow. Perhaps we grow a little wider, but not much taller. So it's very interesting, and it is that process of cellular reproduction that allows us to function, live, and to have a complete functioning body. Now, the blessing of that process is that the human body can heal itself of anything. Because the cells are constantly replacing themselves, damaged and sick cells can turn into healthy, functioning, well cells. And so it is incumbent upon us as the owner of these bodies to do the things that we can do that's going to allow our body cells to function as best as possible. And so that means that as the caretakers of our body, we should do things for ourselves that are going to be good for ourselves. Because as our cells go, so go our organs, so goes our bodily functions, and so goes our health overall. So once again, the human body is capable of healing itself of anything because the cells that have been damaged or somewhat compromised due to illness can improve. They can be replaced by healthy, functioning cells, and we can regain our health. It's like, for example, when you cut yourself, and we've all cut our fingers,
Sure.
and just before your finger starts to bleed, you look down and you can see that the flesh is laid open. And then the blood comes, and then you run and put a Band-Aid around it. And a couple days later, you take off the Band-Aid to see what's going on, and lo and behold, that gaping wound is now closed. And what has happened is you have a line there that shows where the cut was. It's still a little tender, it's still red, but over a period of time, it goes away totally unless maybe you're left with just a small, slight scar. So what has happened, excuse me, I'm losing my voice. What has happened in that situation is that you've had a lot of cell growth, and that cell growth has replenished and replaced those cells that were damaged with the cut. That process is called healing. The same thing goes on. Let's say you have a bad kidney, and it's not functioning properly.
Right.
And your kidney is causing you problems. You go to the doctor and you complain of the symptoms. The doctor looks at it and gives you a diagnosis and says, well, we're going to give you a drug that's going to help you overcome this problem. 9 times out of 10, what will happen is the drug will reduce the symptoms, but the problem will still be there. It is up to your body to heal the problem by replacing the damaged cells that are not functioning, or the ill cells, with healthy cells. If you lose cells that cannot reproduce themselves, in other words, they're not just damaged, but they're totally gone, your body has another miracle that it can do that can help replace those cells by producing what is called stem cells. And stem cells are produced in the body by the bone marrow. They get into your bloodstream, and your body miraculously sends these universal cells, these stem cells, to whatever part of your body is not functioning properly and has damaged cells. And those cells, those stem cells, will then go into the place where the damaged or lost cells have been and will actually physically replace those cells and turn into functioning cells so that organ or that part of your body which has been damaged can regain its function. Because our brain is programmed to have our cells function the way they function the day we were born. So what we want to do is we want to do everything possible to allow our bodies to function at the highest performance level possible so that the cells that get replaced over a period of time may be replaced with healthier, more functioning cells. and that process is called healing. And remember, the human body can heal itself of anything. We just have to do, as the owners of those bodies, is give it what the body needs.
And that is so
we
simple.
We can do that. It is simple.
Simple.
The human body is a very simple, runs on very simple overall principles, but it is extremely complicated in the way that it runs. It's all done by biochemistry. There's all kinds of details that are involved. But, you know, Bob, the human body is kind of like an automobile. I don't mean to make that comparison, but we run on energy, just like your car runs on gasoline. Our body runs on energy. And the energy that runs our body comes from fuel, which our body burns. And the fuel that the human body or any animal body uses is the fuel from the food that we eat. We put the food in our mouth, we chew it up, we swallow it. It goes into our stomach. Our stomach acid and enzymes go to work breaking that food down into its chemical components. It passes into the small intestines, where it then passes from the small intestines into the bloodstream, where your blood cells then carry this broken down food in the form of all the essentials that our body needs to every single cell in our body. And when the nutrients arrive at the cells, they pass through the cell wall, they go into the cell, and then they go through another cell wall of the mitochondria, which is a little engine that is inside of every single cell. Some cells have just one mitochondria, other cells have thousands of them. And then the fuel goes into the mitochondria, and a wonderful formula takes place called the Krebs cycle, which converts this fuel into the energy that our body burns to give us a functioning body. Without the ATP or adenosine triphosphate that our mitochondria produce, we would be nothing more than a heap on the floor.
Yeah.
We would have no energy to function, period. Now, in order to run our bodies, it's a very simple situation. We need energy, we need fuel, and we need materials that help our body build cells. And the materials that our cells utilize to build cells comes from, again, the food that we eat, and is in the form of proteins or amino acids. And it is these amino acids that our cells use to manufacture new cells. It's like the shingles and the 2x4s and the bricks that our cells use to make new cells. The function of the cell to replace itself is based primarily on the source of energy that the cells can produce, the ATP. So the more ATP and the more building blocks or proteins that you give your body, the better your cells can function.
Makes sense.
And when your cells can function at peak performance, no matter what your age, the cells will replace themselves with healthier, better functioning cells, and healing can occur.
That was
it's amazing.
That it is amazing, and you know our bodies are miraculous. And as we're following what you're explaining, that must explain at 79 years young, my husband Dennis Kelly was able to pull off a 6-time world martial arts championship last July because
of course
he set his body up for optimal health and optimal performance, right?
Absolutely.
Exactly.
I didn't have a choice.
He didn't have a choice.
She was going to tie me to the oak tree outside and hose me down and give me 3 square meals.
If you want to have a functioning body, we have to take care of ourselves. You know, I always am amazed when people will get diagnosed with a terrible illness and they'll say, gosh, I can't believe it. It came from nowhere. Mm-hmm. And then you start to talk to them, and they say, well, I eat a McDonald's 4 nights a week, and I drink, 2 6-packs of beer every day, and I smoke a pack of cigarettes every day. And I wonder where does the disease come from?
Exactly. Dick, hold that thought, because we're going to take a brief little time out for some housekeeping.
Sure.
When we come back, we're going to pick up where we left off, okay?
Very good, Barb.
We'll be right back. At a certain age, so this is supposed to happen. No, it's not supposed to happen. At a certain age, so this is supposed to happen. No, it's not supposed to happen. Hi, everyone. Welcome back into Prime Time. I'm Barbara Marville Kelly. With me is my husband, Dennis Kelly. I'm very excited to have Mr. Dick Herrboldt, who is an independent professional and leader with over 10 years' experience on one of our secrets that my husband has been doing for a good little while now, which has allowed his body to set itself up for success, for optimal health. And of course, it's something that has really changed our lives incredibly. And we're now kind of coming out of the closet to share it with you. And we have Dick still on the line that's going to be talking about what this product is. I just happen to have a bottle of it with me here to show it to you. And you'll be able to get a hold of us if you want to know further information. And we'll tell you how to do that a little bit later on. Dick, are you still there with us?
I'm still here, Barbara.
All right. So let's talk about this product and how it works and why and all of that.
You bet. The best way to describe what this product is to call it what it really is, which is super fuel for the human cell.
I love that.
The main component of this product is a substance called a polysaccharide peptide. Now, a polysaccharide peptide is a molecule, a complex molecule, that comes from rice. Rice, that not any common everyday rice, but rice, very specialized rice that's grown in the Siam Valley of Thailand, the very best rice-growing fields in the world. They have terraced rice fields on the side of mountains, and there's a constant flowing of fresh, high mineral water flowing down through these rice fields. And so for 5,000 years, they've been growing rice in this area in Thailand. And the rice that we grow there is very unique. We have actually two different polysaccharide peptide products that come from two different rice. The first one is what we call a PXP Forte, which comes from brown rice. The second one is PXP Royale that comes from a special black and purple rice that we had blended and grow specifically for our products. Now, once the rice is grown and harvested, it is very quickly taken to our equipment, which is in Bangkok, Thailand, where it is milled. And the milling process extracts the polysaccharide peptide from the rice grain. It comes from the endosperm and the hull of the rice. It takes 100 pounds of rice to produce 1 pound of polysaccharide peptide. So it comes from a very small part of the rice grain. It comes from the hull and from the endosperm of the rice. Now, once we have this product extracted, we ship it here to the United States in containers. It's very stable after it has been extracted from the rice. But again, it's very important that it is extracted as quickly as possible from the time the rice is harvested, so that no oxidation can take place, and that way you maintain the maximum availability of the polysaccharide peptides, and they are in their purest, best form. So once we have extracted it, we put it in containers, we ship it here to the United States, and we bottle it in our facility where it goes to all our locations all over the world. Of course, different labels for different countries, basically the same product. Now, the polysaccharide peptide molecule is a molecule that is made up of two important substances. The first one is monosaccharides, the fuel that our mitochondria burn to produce ATP, which gives us our physical energy. The second major component of the polysaccharide peptide molecule is the amino acids. And these amino acids are what our cells use as the building blocks to build new cells. We get 95% cellular absorption once you take the product, in up to 4.5 hours after you take it. Once you take the product, it's a powder form. You mix it with water, or some unsweetened juices work fine. Coffee, tea is fine. You mix it with that, you drink it. It goes into your body, down your esophagus, into your stomach, where it very quickly passes through your stomach, because it does not have to be digested like other foods that you eat. It passes into your small intestines, where it then passes through the small intestines into the blood cells, where it is carried throughout the body to every single cell in your body. When it arrives at the cells, it passes through the cellular membrane, goes into the cell, into the mitochondria, and boom, you use it. In the tests that we've done, we've done cultures with live cells. We've given the PXP to those cells, and we watched they have meters that they can measure the energy produced in the cell. And as Dr. Gabbert, who conducted a lot of these experiments, says, he was amazed. He just watched the cells light up with energy. So the energy that our cells produce is the energy of life. It is why we can function. It's very interesting. Take dementia, for example. There's a lot of belief now that dementia is caused because the brain cells, and by the way, our brain cells have over 1,000 mitochondria per cell. Our brains consume 60% of the fuel that we put into our body on a daily basis. So when you have low fuel, low energy going into the brain, one of the results of that is dementia, loss of memory. when people grow older, they have a tendency to lose their memory, lose their ability to concentrate, because their brain is probably not as efficient as producing energy or ATP as it once was. And so it's very important that we keep our energy and our fuel sources as high as possible and keep our cells and our brain functioning to the best possible ability that they can function, so that we can maintain our memory and we get better body function. You know, when you think about the brain and the amount of energy required to run the human body, just take the example of muscle movement. We are built on a situation where our muscles oppose each other.
Yes.
We have one muscle that contracts and the other opposite muscle relaxes.
Right.
That gives us movement. Now, what stimulates that movement is electrons produced in our brain that go through our nervous system, that go to the muscle, and the one electron will cause one muscle to contract, another electron will take the opposing muscle to relax, and we get movement.
It makes sense,
now, when
doesn't
you
it?
think about
Absolutely.
the human body and how much movement we have,
Yeah.
we have multiple movements at any one time.
Exactly. Would you say, Dick, and I don't mean to interrupt you, but this is coming to me.
No, that's fine, Barbara.
When my husband was going through these times, it was like his cells weren't firing. His brain was not firing what you just explained so that he could process things that people were saying to him. And I found that I would have to say things 5 and 6 times. And even
Right.
then, I wasn't sure if he really got it. And so
Right.
this is what we consider food for the brain, food for the cells. I'm thinking that.
Foods.
It's a cradle that rocks the baby.
Oh, that's very good. That's very good. Yeah.
I call it
The cradle that rocks the baby, you're right.
That is a very good sort of a metaphor, because when you think about how you can relate to explain to people, and when they don't know, when you're going through these crazy times and you don't want to tell anyone, it's easier to when you can explain it that way. But what you've done is you've really painted the picture so that we understand how the human body works, and that we consider this a superfood. Now, we're not making any claims to cure or diagnose or anything like that, because everybody gets different results. I mean, we aren't we're not cookie cutter humans, but this was something. I mean, how long did it take for you to give our audience just a quick little overview while Dick is explaining all this, hon, how you felt? We have 1 minute, real quick. We're going to take a break, then we're going to come back and really expound on it.
Well, the thing is, I didn't expect a miracle overnight.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like anything else. It takes a long time for the body to get out of shape.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes time for the body to get in shape. I had an advantage because I was already in good shape. That's why I couldn't believe I got this life-threatening disease. Mm-hmm. But then after really analyzing it, I looked at it like God gave me this opportunity to do things that will help millions of other people. So I want to be the poster child of that in this sense, that when they look at me and I tell them what this product does, that they look at me as someone that is setting up a good example for them to be able to transfer my knowledge to them. And it's not easy, because you have to take a little bit of time to do it, as far as the effort and so on. But I owe my life to it.
Absolutely.
Because it enabled me to rethink again. In fact, the fact that I came out of retirement and fought and won with Parkinson's disease last year in a tournament where everybody's 15, 20 years younger than me. So it's like I want to be that example, so I can encourage other people to do what I'm doing. Now, it's not the only thing I do, but it's the main thing that I do. Like I said, it's the cradle that rocks the baby.
Hold that thought. We're going to take a brief little time out. When we come back, we're going to dig a little bit deeper into this superfood, this crazy rice of ours that we're doing.
Amen.
We'll be right back after this. At a certain age, so this is supposed to happen. No, it's not supposed to happen.
Hi, Jackie Skelton from JR World Travel here. If you travel, you need a licensed professional travel consultant, not a computer. Your licensed professional consultant can get you more for your time and your money. Value for your money and experience, not marketing salesmanship. When you're sick, you call the doctor. When you need legal advice, you call an attorney. So the next time you want to go on any type of travel, call your licensed professional travel consultant who actually represents you. We specialise in group travel, family reunions, weddings, to escorting large groups or making special arrangements for the disabled. Please call 844-249-0190. We are a full-service travel consultancy offering worldwide concierge service. Air, land, sea, rivers, resorts, locally, nationally and internationally. Remember that number, 844-249-0190.
At a certain age, so this is supposed to happen. No, it's not supposed to happen. Hi everyone, welcome back into Primetime TV Show. I'm Barbara Marville Kelly, and with me is my dear, sweet, wonderful husband who's back from the black hole. You know what that means? It means there was no communication years ago. I had no idea where my life was going, where his life was going. And I tell you, this product that he's been taking, I'm going to let him share with you. Then we're going to bring our professional in to talk about why and what this actually may do for anybody, with different results, of course. Hun, what was the first, how soon did you start feeling the difference?
Well, like I said, within a month, I started feeling, in a sense, I started feeling a little bit more energy. I started noticing my workouts at the gym were getting better, rather than going backwards, which is supposed to happen when you have Parkinson's disease. I mean, it just destroys everything in your body in a slow process. So I was not only checking the Parkinson's, but I was actually, when I meant checking, in other words, going back and looking at how I felt and what I was doing, and then comparing it to after taking the rice. For example, when I fought in the tournament last year at the U.S. Open in Orlando, I had fought in that same tournament for 20-some years and never won a first place. And I won many second and third and first place in almost every state in the Union. However, with the Parkinson's disease, I figured it would even be more difficult. But little did I know how this was going to make a difference in my mind by using, like I said, using the product and doing my other routines. So when I fought at U.S. Open, won a first place, that was the first time in 25 years that I've been competing there. So what's so funny is because of having the Parkinson's, I increased my workouts to a little bit more than normal, then a lot more than normal, and as I did that, I started getting better. There was no problem with lactic acid, and I don't know what effect the rice has with lactic acid, But I would do a hard workout, have no lactic acid. It's the only thing I was doing different.
Exactly. Thank you for that. What were some of the other things? Didn't you mention something about the, whatchamacallit?
Acid reflux.
Acid reflux?
Acid reflux. It really was really getting worse. And then after being on the product for about a year, I started noticing that situation, that problem going away, where I don't have that anymore.
And that was how long after?
Well, after I've been on, for noticing that, I was on a product for about a year and a half when that started.
Okay.
It's a slow process in some areas. In some areas, it's not. I didn't lose any flexibility. My mental acuity is almost as good as when I was younger. I say almost. Everybody has to face reality. You're not sometimes as sharp as you are when you're younger. But my physical body and my ability to compete was even better.
That was crazy, okay? It was just crazy last year.
It went beyond Parkinson.
I mean, you know what? He retired how many years ago? And you said, not again, never again, because you noticed that things were starting to happen. And here's the thing. I didn't know anything about all this. He didn't tell me about this until it was really getting more challenging than ever. Anything you want to? Anything else that you noticed at all before we bring Dick back on the line?
I slept better. You know, or I sleep better since I've been on the product.
What about focus and concentration?
That is one of the biggies. I have not 100% now. I'm about 95% back when I was younger.
We'll take it. We'll take it.
Yeah, and once in a while I'll get a little blank feeling and that, but it's gotten better rather than worse. And I honestly believe I'll be back 100% in a short period of time.
You know what he said to me the other day? I think I'm going to come back out of retirement again and compete next year when I'm 80.
Wouldn't that be great?
Oh, yeah, that would be great. On that note, we're going to go back to Dick and say
She doesn't know it, but I'm actually planning on it.
You know what? He actually could do it. Hey, Dick, welcome back in. So
yeah, thank you, brother.
So can you explain?
I'm so thrilled to hear this. I just am overjoyed to hear Dennis's story. Thank you.
Well, I'll tell you, he is a walking miracle as far as I'm concerned, and I've watched this transformation right in our little villa on what's been going on. And again, we're not making any suggestions to cure or treat any disease here. Everybody gets different results. And the thing is, what we really need is the one key word is patience and belief that our bodies have the miraculous ability that God set forth in each and every one of us to have optimal health if we just know what to do. So, Dick, tell us what's happening here with the body.
Well, what's happening is, first of all, I would just like to mention that not all of our cells, and we have over 1 trillion of them that make up our body. You know, your lungs are made up of cells, your heart is made up of cells, your muscles are all cells, your skin, your eyes, everything. Hair is all made up of cells, which are all alive and which all reproduce. Now, they don't all reproduce at the same pace. Our skin cells reproduce very quickly. Our 3 layers, we have an epidermis, a mesodermis, and an endodermis. Those 3 layers of cells reproduce very quickly because our cells that make up our skin are getting a lot of wear on a daily basis. And we have skin on the outside of our bodies, not necessarily to make us beautiful, although it does that. It also protects us and keeps bacteria, viruses, and other evil agents out of our body. So it's very important that we have skin. And our skin has to be durable. So when you get a cut, you know, your body wants that cut to go away very quickly because the body knows that pathogens can get into your body through those burns, cuts, bruises, etc. on your skin surface. So our skin reproduces very quickly. Now, when you get into the complicated cells like our brain cells, it takes a long time for those cells to reproduce themselves. They don't reproduce themselves overnight. It takes several months for our brain cells to reproduce into new cells. Our pancreatic cells reproduce fairly quickly. Our muscle cells a little bit longer. So various cells reproduce at various times, which is why we have to be patient when we're using a natural approach to heal our bodies of their inflammatory, their illnesses or their wounds, it's going to take some time. Just like when you burn yourself or cut a finger, it takes some time for that wound to heal. It also takes time for our organs internally to heal. Because remember, the cells that make up our liver, for example, are very similar to the cells that make up our skin. So our cells are basically built the same way, do the same things, but they're specialized. Even the cells that make up our heart are specialized. Some cells do one particular thing, other cells do other things. What triggers the activities of our cells in our body is the chemicals that our body produces, because we're basically chemical beings, biochemical beings.
Yes.
So enzymes play a big role in causing our body to do certain things at certain times. Growth hormones do other things. So all of these things can cause things to work at a different pace. That's when you get into the real complications of the human body. It gets extremely complicated.
Exactly.
Because there's different...
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, Barbara.
I was just going to say, and sometimes, we want to keep things, I would say most of the times, we want to just keep things simple. And so with at least understanding how the body works and what a product that is all natural and totally organic and very clean and pristine and coming from an area that, from what I understand about this rice product, because it is so concentrated and because it is so pristine, that there aren't any motor vehicles that go into this area to bring this out?
That's correct. They do it. They do it the way they've been doing it for the last 3,000 years. They bring it out to a certain point using wagons drawn by oxen. And they bring it out, and then trucks come and pick it up. They have been growing rice in these rice fields the same way they've been doing for the last 3,000 to 4,000 years.
That is amazing.
Wow.
I mean, I think it's really nature's best kept secret. And the thing is when you see what this is, and I call it comfort food. When you mix it up with a little warm water, it's just amazing. But you know what? The thing is that you can't. This is a specialized process with this, which makes it different and sets itself apart from other products out there. I don't think there's anything like this at all in the health food stores.
No, there isn't, because we're relying on the human body to heal people, and the human body is almost a perfect piece of equipment.
Isn't it? My husband in his book,
it's amazing.
He calls it that mind, body, spirit, using the mind as the map, the body as the vehicle, and the spirit as the fuel. And I'll tell you, we have to get a copy of his book to you, because you will definitely resonate with it, because when you set the body up for the healing process, what else do we have to do but to set it up for the healing process, right? So that's exciting.
Exactly.
That's really exciting.
The body will heal itself. It is the things that we do to our bodies that make us sick.
Exactly.
It's what we get exposed to externally. And when people come to the realization, like Dennis has, that you can control your health by what you do to your body, it is an eye-opening experience. Because people, you're not any longer just out there waiting for some disaster to occur.
Right.
You could actually take preemptive steps to keep your health, to live at the peak performance, live life to the optimal. That's the goal here.
That is the goal.
We know we're all going to die one day, but my goodness, well, isn't it wonderful to be able to be like Dennis and be competing in these physical challenges at age 80?
I know.
Most people at age 80 can hardly get out of bed.
But you know what? You're so right about that, but it also comes back to choices. And
Sure.
and everything.
Absolutely.
We have just a minute before our last segment, Dick. But I just wanted to say this: is my husband made the choice. It was his quest when his father passed away with a massive heart attack. At how old? He was in
53.
53. So he was on a quest.
Exactly the age my father died. Yep.
Well, and that's a story that really inspires us to be better than that as we add years to our life. And he made that choice, setting his body up at a younger age and on a quest to find out what are the secrets to youth? What's the holy grail
Right.
for health? And he's been doing really
Right.
great so far. And here's the other thing: when you do take care of your body, when something like this hits you, I'm guessing that you might have a better shot at it if you do what you need to do
That's a
to
good
set the
point.
body up for optimal health by living an optimal life. So you've been accountable. You've taught me
Yep.
how to be accountable, and it's like the pieces of the puzzle fall into place. So we feel we've been blessed. God gave us the answers with Karen Justice and Joanne Hill bringing this product to us. It's just amazing. But we have a quick little commercial break. I can't believe I could keep you here for hours and hours on end, Dix. So stay right there.
Okay.
We're going to do a little
I
housekeeping,
will.
and we'll be right back. At a certain age, so this is supposed to happen. No, it's not supposed to happen. At a certain age, so this is supposed to happen. No, it's not supposed to happen. Hi, everyone. Welcome back into Prime Time. I'm Barbara Marville Kelly. With me is Dennis Kelly.
I'm still here.
Thank you for that. And Dick's still with us, too. This has been a very enlightening, very self-explanatory process with this rice product that we've been taking here. And in this last segment, we're going to be talking a little bit more about sort of recapping it, and also mention another guest that's going to be coming up next month as a special guest who's been on before, Dr. Gabbert. But that was a couple of years ago, just when you were early on starting to take this product. So Dick Herrboldt is with us, and quite a professional, 10 years of experience with this product and working with people that want to perhaps turn their lives around and set their bodies up for optimal health, living an optimal life. So what's your philosophy take on that, Dick?
Oh, that's absolutely correct. I'm a firm believer in if you take care of your body will take care of you. and that we are all in control, basically, of our health. And we can do a lot of things to enhance our body's ability to function and keep us in peak performance.
Exactly. And peak performance really is the way to go, because you know what? I want to live every minute of every day living in the moment, and I want that pristine moment. I want each moment to be an exciting moment, and it goes into another. And when our body is not functioning that way, we're droopy, we're this, we're that, we're complaining, we're negative, or whatever. But when you are working at an optimal level, your experience in life is optimal. Wouldn't you say, hon?
Absolutely. I mean, it's like you can pay the price of discipline or pay the price of regret. Discipline weighs ounces, regret weighs tons.
Exactly, exactly.
So make up your mind. You want to live long and healthy, then you pay the price, and that's not a big price to pay.
You know, it really isn't. And if you just follow the routine, you know, you've been working out now 6 out of 7 days, still at age 79. It doesn't change. And I mean, if he has to miss a workout for an appointment or something like that, he's not a happy camper about it, but he lives with it. He is one man that walks his talk. So Dick, anything else we can share before we close our show?
Yes, that is that think in terms of your body and your body's cells. And keep in mind that you have trillions of them that make up your body. Mm-hmm. And it is because of those wonderful cells that, remember, came from one single cell that you are you. And if you do everything you can to help those cells function, your body will take care of you like you can't believe.
That's right.
We are built to function perfectly. When we are born, 99% of us have a totally 100% functioning body. But as we grow older, some of our functions go away, and that's because of disease, that is because of neglect, is because of abuse of things that we put into our body that we shouldn't. So it is incumbent upon all of us, to think about what we put into our body and what we do to our bodies, mm-hmm. if you want to enjoy life to the fullest and be healthy. And one of the best fundamental things that you can give your body is PXP, polysaccharide peptides, super fuel for the human cell.
I love when you say that, the super fuel for the human cell. Like I said before, I could keep you here hours and hours. We only have 3 minutes before we say goodbye, just for today. But we're going to have you back again. The other thing that I wanted to mention, that you don't have to wait until something strikes you. You may want to consider something like this for prevention. And again, I just want to make sure that you understand that we are not giving information, making claims to treat, cure, or diagnose any illnesses here. This is a superfood that I swear, if you can just try this, see what it may do for you. Because imagine if you can't get down on the floor with your grandchildren right now, and you're not living in optimal health, or you can't go out swing dancing like my husband and I just did this past Saturday, or you can't clean your walls or your kitchen the way you do. Maybe, just maybe, if you make a major lifestyle change, starting with little baby steps that actually taste good too. If you want to get more information on it, you're more than welcome to contact myself or my husband. You can private message us on Facebook, or you can get a hold of us through our websites, barbaramarvel.com or dennis-kelly.com. I also want to give a little plug for Dr. Gabbert, Dr. Doug Gabbert, who was here in this very same studio just a little over 2 years ago when my husband started taking the product. And Dr. Gabbert also does a phenomenal job on explaining the product and explaining how you can get started and everything. So I just want to thank you, Dick. You were awesome today.
Well, thank you, Barbara. It's very inspiring to be on your show. Dennis, to hear your story is absolutely gives me goosebumps just listening to you,
I
and I'm
know.
so thankful
Well, thank you.
that you've had this wonderful experience. And Barbara, working with you, you're a true professional. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to share with you and your audience what I've experienced with this product.
Well, thank you so much, Dick. And we're going to have you back again. And thank you for everyone for joining us today. It was really a pleasure to share this finally coming out of the closet, because we don't talk about anything unless we have tried it ourselves before we tell you about it. Again, you can get a hold of us, BarbaraMarville.com or Dennis-Kelly.com. Thanks, Dick. Have a great evening, and we'll talk to you next time.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.